Hi guys, and welcome to this evening's A. Jensen giveaway. Now, I'm always getting a little bit nervous before I start these live broadcasts, and with good reason. I don't think any of them have ever gone particularly smoothly. I would appreciate it if somebody could just let me know that the sound's working and that the picture's okay for you. Good evening, Rich. Good evening, Jerry. And good evening, William. I hope you can hear me okay. Excellent. Thanks very much for that, guys. So what I want to do is make sure that I don't miss anything tonight. So what I've done is I've made some notes on a little notepad. I've got my computer just below me here. You won't see it, it's just out of camera shot, but it's just going to keep me right, because it's important that the people that have been involved with the KitKat Cup this year are recognised. It takes a lot of organisation as well as time, so I really appreciate everyone's input. So I hope you don't mind that I'm going to refer to my notes. And here we are. So first of all, why are we here? We're here to give away two A. Jensen Drifter 2 rods. They're both 10 foot for a 7 weight, as well as this. One of the videos attracted one of the fabulous A. Jensen fly lines. Now what I'm going to do to supplement that is I'm going to spool that fly line up on a reel for you, and you'll get the reel and the fly line if you're lucky enough to win. So well, moving on, the thank yous, and there's many, and I know this is the boring part for most of you. You just want to get on and see who's won the prizes, but it is important that I mention a couple of things. So we wouldn't even be doing this video if it wasn't for a couple of people from A. Jensen, and I particularly want to mention Seb McMichael and Henrik Jensen. They've provided, when I thought to ask for a prize, you know, for each video, just to give something back to the viewers, I expected a fly line or a fly box or something small like that, but to have received two fishing rods that are absolutely amazing, I might add, they're superb rods, as well as a fly line, I was over the moon, and Jock and I are both very grateful for that. So thank you, Seb and Henrik, we really appreciate it. And of course, the next person that I've got to really say thanks is to Jock and Hiker. So every year I make the drive up to Scotland, and Jock and Hiker put me up in their home. They feed me, they make sure I'm well rested, and I'm treated like a lord. It's really pleasant, and I appreciate that, Jock, and hopefully next year we'll not be burdening Hiker with that same accommodation issue, but we'll come on to that a little later in the video. So the next thing then, I'm just going to scroll up. The Fisheries. Now, as I say, I'm a full-time civil servant. I don't make a whole lot of stack of money. I do enough to get by. I'm comfortable, but these videos, they don't cost nothing. You know, even fuel going up to Scotland and back in a 10-year-old Ford Galaxy is about 100 quid. So you get the picture. Now the Fisheries, especially Glencorse, they sponsored the boats and the fishing. So Bill and Kenny, thanks very much. Jock and I couldn't be more appreciative of your contribution. Now Barringsgill, it's a syndicate fishery. We wouldn't have been able to get onto that unless Jock had joined the syndicate. So Jock, thanks very much for sponsoring the video in that regard. And of course, the Lake of Menteith, they don't need any advertising from videos like mine. They're the premier trout fishery in Scotland. There can be no doubt of that. So thanks very much to them, who they did sponsor half a boat for us. So we really appreciate that. Every little bit helps towards covering the cost of the videos. Last but not least, you guys. There'd be no point in us putting all the effort into filming these locations, filming the match, if it wasn't for you guys tuning in, liking the videos. And some of the comments Jock and I got while we were doing around the venues were just absolutely amazing. People seem to really, it resonates with them, and I dare say that's because Jock and I's little chocolate bar competition is not the only fishing competition that's going on around the country. I'm sure pals everywhere are fishing for £1 or they're fishing for a Twix or whatever the case may be, but they're getting out and the fishing really, yeah, they want to win, but I think it's just more a case of having a laugh with a little bit of a competitive edge, and hopefully people will continue to do that. Grab a buddy, get out fishing and have a little match amongst yourselves. So that's the thank yous done. Where does the KitKat Cup go from here? So we've had it in Scotland for the last 2 years now. It used to be held, traditionally it was held at Rutland Water, where I was in with a much better chance because that's where my home water is, and I usually do quite well there. Unfortunately, the last few years, Jock's had the better of me on the venues. And why wouldn't he? You know, them fabulous venues are on his doorstep, and he's always got the engine every year. He's not getting it next year, I swear. So, next year, talking about next year, Jock and I have discussed this, and what we want to do is show you something completely different. Now, it's maybe a little bit ambitious, but here's what we're planning. Again, I'm just going to refer to my notes. We're planning to go to Orkney. Now, Orkney's in the north of Scotland, for those of you viewing that are not familiar with the landscape. And we're going to fish on the islands in 3 of the best known venues. It's going to be Broadhouse, Hundland, and of course, Lochary, which it's famous for. Sorry. I'm having to read the script because I don't want to miss anything. This will obviously carry some financial burden. So, Jock and I will be raffling some guided days to help raise the required funds. If you can help support the event, we would be most grateful. So, I want to show you just what the whole thing was about.
The Drifter 2, and Lindsay is used to Drifter 2. And we've got a gentleman walking his dogs. Beautiful day, isn't it?
It's gorgeous.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning, the fish are rising, the clarity of the water is absolute perfect, at least a couple of metres. Here comes a mountain bike. It looks amazing. All me and Lindsay's got to do is catch the fish. Obviously me slightly more than Lindsay, hopefully.
Did I win here last year?
You did.
Because the fish couldn't see.
Sorry, I didn't realise the blooper reel had finished. So what we're going to do is I'm going to switch to my screen. That's the wrong thing for a kickoff. So what I've got on the screen and what you should see is a YouTube random comment picker, and what we've got to do is we'll go to the first video, which was the ultimate fishing adventure in Glencorse. I'm going to copy the video. In fact, this is a good idea. If you ever want to share the videos, this is how you do it. And then I'll paste it in. So I'm going to click the fetch button, and it's going to give me a parameter. Now, there was some confusion as to how you entered the competition. I did do my best, but the one thing I did say, you had to have the word Jensen in the comment. So we'll just stick that in. Oh, let's spell it right or nobody's going to win. Jensen. There we go. Include replies. Don't allow duplicates. We don't want anyone having more than one chance. And we'll click continue. Please wait while we load the comments. And there was a lot of comments, and thank you very much for that. So we're going to pick a winner for the first prize, and it's Mech Speed 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my email address in the description of this video. As soon as I come off the live, I'll render the video and put it on my main site. You'll be able to find my email address. If you email me your address, I will be posting you a 10 foot for a 7 Drifter 2 fly rod. Well done, Mech Speed 3. The next video was at Barringsgill, and this one is going to be for the fly line. And again, we did get quite a few comments. Pick a winner. And it's Ryan Matheson 418. Again, Ryan, if you check out the description, my email address will be there. Please email me your details and I'll be sending you a fly reel with a Jensen line on. And last but not least is the Lake of Menteith video. Again, the keyword was Jensen. So even if you've put a Jensen, it doesn't matter, because I know some people did have some problems with the parameters that I set. I'll try and make it a little bit easier next time. Let's pick the winner for the last rod. Comment not found. I've won! Hooray! No, I've obviously typed in the wrong thing. There we go. Peter Lee 2279. Again, Peter, my email will be in the description. Please drop me a line with your address and I'll be sending you off a Drifter 2 fly rod. So there we go. That's all the prizes. Now I just want to check to see if there's anything else I was supposed to miss or mention. No, so my email address will be in the description once I come off this video. So I'm going to read through the comments and see if you've got any questions. If it's scrolled up, I'm really sorry, but I'm trying to do everything at once and it's not easy. I need more staff, but I have got whiskey, so. Okay. Hi Ralph, Fish Breeder Scotland, hello. Mech Speed, congratulations, well done. Kenneth McLean, Kenny, well done. Stuart, Blackfur, can't see it, we'll have to do it again. Well done guys, better catch some good fish. Well done, the winners. Robert, I've not quite decided. I think what Jock's going to do is he's going to do his guided days on Glen course. I don't know how many he'll do, enough to pay for the whole camper van, I hope. But if anyone's watching and they know a camper van firm that wants to sponsor the KitKat Cup, that would be ideal. But if not, we're happy to go halfers, Jock and I. Jock's welcomed all the winners, but I think he meant well done to all the winners. But you've seen the blooper reel, it's always him. Rich, I don't really do guided days per se. I've done a few in the past where I've been raising funds for Team England when I was involved with the Lochstyle team. And I did a bit of it then, but not really. But I will be doing it next year, or maybe later in this year, early next year. And I'll probably only do 2 days. My time's very precious, and I simply don't have enough of it. So if I did, I think I would probably do more guided days. But yeah, so that's the situation. But what I'll do is probably like a raffle or something. And if you win the raffle, you'll get 8 hours on the water, one of the big Midlands reservoirs with me in a boat, and you might be screaming to get out after about half an hour, but you know, I'm sure you'll learn something and you'll have a good time. I'll even provide the lunch. The holiday was outstanding, Aaron. I really had a nice time in Slovenia. I really missed my fly fishing kit though, but I had a great time with my wife and some good close friends. We had a ball, plenty of sunshine. We've had a remarkable year so far. It's just gone a little dull this week, but I think it's due to heat up again next week, just in time for me to go to Draycott for the Army Championships. So I'm looking forward to that. Question for Jock. I'm on Menteith with Jim Crawford on Sunday. What should I be using that day? If you're on with Jim Crawford, Alex, I could help you. You'll need a baseball bat to beat him because you've got no chance with a fishing rod. Bits and buzzers. Jock won again. I was robbed mine. I was robbed. No, Jock well won actually on the Lake of Menteith. He fished outstandingly, and he just absolutely, once he got onto the method, he just nailed them, and it was real quick. It all happened in about half an hour. My hopes and dreams just collapsed in about 30 minutes. Next speed, that's a good question. How do I know that it's going to be you emailing me? Ooh, didn't really think that through. I'm just going to have to rely on people's integrity. Is there any of that left in the world? I hope so. So, the bad news is, Mex Speed, is I've only got 2 drifter rods and one line and reel to give away. So once they're posted, they're posted. I don't think anyone would be so mean as to do that. Stuart, that's not a bad shout. I could give it a go. I'll give that some thought. That's a great suggestion. Thank you. Oh, Jock's just mentioned that he's going to do guiding on the Lake of Menteith, which is even better. But if I was you, I'd try and talk him into taking you to Glencorse, because that is just a hell of a fishery to visit. Thanks very much, Willie. I really appreciate that. Alex has just mentioned, Mex Speed, that you can insta message me on here. I didn't know that, because it might all seem like I'm a technical genius with all this YouTube stuff, but I haven't got a clue really. I'm just fumbling along, and as I get stuck, I just go onto YouTube and try and find the solution. So it probably looks a lot smarter than I am. The lake is buzzers or dries at the moment. That's you snookered in, Jock, eh? Dries. What about a GoFundMe? Well, I don't know. That I did think about that big blue nose bear. I like that name, but I don't. Times are tough at the minute, mate. I don't want to be asking people to put their hand in their pocket to fund a stupid competition between me and my pal. I'd rather pay half, to be honest, than take folks' money like that. But if I'm offering a service like a day on the water, then I can sort of take that on the chin. Jock, I think Jock was using the Rio midge tip, but he'll correct me if I'm wrong, and I was using the Airflow 6 foot fast tip. Dave, I live in the southeast, pal. I'm based in Camberley in Surrey, and probably the first meetup I would do would be like Albury Estates. It's kind of like my local fishery. So I'll put some thought into that and see if I can organise a day where we can bring some anglers along, get them out fishing, hopefully meet a few of the subscribers. That would be great. I really like the idea of that, and I could speak to Cam and see if he would facilitate that for the fishery, because it's quite a busy fishery. We'd probably have to try and ascertain numbers and look for an opportunity to get a group of anglers out. Rich, I don't think Jock's got a website, but he is on Facebook and on Instagram. This is just us spitballing at the moment. We've not actually organised these guiding days yet. It's something that we're going to be doing in the coming weeks. We'll organise days out. I know I can probably only do about 2. Jock might be able to do 2 as well. But, Jock works full-time as well, sadly, and as well as this, he works for a guiding company in Scotland. So it will depend on his availability as well. Wallace, that's a good idea, and I'm happy to do that. I mean, I tie so many flies, it's horrendous. Rich, I'd be happy to film a guided day on the water. It could make for a really good laugh, actually. But we'll see. Some people are a wee bit camera shy. No Jock. Fraser, aye, that's been suggested, pal, and I'm not keen on asking people for money for no return. That's just, I don't think Jock would be particularly comfortable with that either. So we're not going to do that. We want to offer something in return. We don't want people just handing over cash. We've both got jobs at the end of the day, and if need be, we've both said that we will go halfers and just hire one. Good evening, Mike. I think it's Nestle, Stuart. It's no Cadbury. That Nestle made the KitKat Cup, didn't the KitKat Cup, the KitKat. I'm sure it's a Nestle product, but yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Write to Nestle and say, "Aye, how about helping us out?" Okay, guys, I think I've probably held you up long enough tonight. Now, if there's any other questions, I'll give it another 5 to 10 seconds to see if anything pops up. If not, I'm going to get on with rendering this video, and then I'll get it pumped out onto my main channel so that everyone can see the results of the live giveaway. That's true, Stuart. That's true. Well, have a good night, everyone. Thanks very much for tuning in, and thanks again for all the support for this little tournament Jock and I have. And keep your eyes peeled for any details on the guided days coming in the next 6 to 7 months. Good night, guys.